Hi, this is Sharita Town. Look, it's me talking to you through a camera and through another camera. Um, because you've seen videos already of Don't Occupy and Holly Camp, I won't be explaining much about them, but I will jump right into what both of those projects surge from, which is an experience in the Sahrawi refugee camps in Algeria. Through in a 2-week long event called Arti Fariti. So let's get to that. My project at Arti Fariti was a mixture of stereo photojournalism and recording on recordable sound modules. So here you can see me, and then you can see Mohammed Moulay in his living room, and these are the recordable sound modules here. And then at the bottom is the machine that I use, a vintage Kodak stereo camera. The Arti Fariti took place from the 1st of October to the 15th. So basically Don't Occupy and Holly Camp I've been doing for the past month and a half, and then this was the first half of October, so about a month and a half ago, almost 2 months ago. And this is a map just so you have a little context of where it's situated. This is Africa here, northern Africa. Here's Morocco, and then these are where the refugee camps are. And this is the liberated zone here in yellow, and then this is the occupied zone, occupied by Morocco, in purple. So I want to go over a little bit my approach in getting these 30-second messages and stereo pictures from people. I definitely didn't want to push too much, and so I would just sit down and talk with people, show them my family pictures, show them other stereo pictures taken in other parts of the world, and introduce them to my friends or people I've met also in my travels, and then ask them if they were interested in being a part of the work. Yeah, this is Selka and her daughter, her cousin here, and then Fadaila there, her aunt. This is one of the women that I got a stereo recording of making tea. And it's interesting, the tea here, the ceremony, you have to drink 3 of them. And the first they make bitter like life. The second, with a lot of sugar, is sweet like love. And then the third, in the middle, is smooth like death. So Arti Fariti, this is a photo taken at one of the fashion shows. This is the brand from Arti Fariti called Sahara Livrewear. And so all the artists there kind of support each other. You know, we became models in the silkscreen, or one of the other photographers helped me document my process. So we all kind of support each other in Arti Fariti. These mostly are the students that went. There's artists and there's students. It was an international meeting of students, and it was actually funded by the, at least for me, by the Institute of Sustainable Solutions at Portland State. So I thank them for that. And so yeah, this is the Holly Camp logo that got started there in the camps with a Berlin artist by the name of Bettina Semmer. We still work with each other, and actually my artist in residence project for a day was the Pen Pals video that you saw, which is pen pals between the refugee camps and Berlin. So yeah, I'm also doing, here you can see, these are the sound modules, and I want to read a quote actually. I'll go back to the camera for that. I want to read a quote actually from Alan Lomax that someone in the room with you gave me, but I won't say who. So the quote is, the recording machine can be a voice for the voiceless, for the millions in the world who have no access to the main channels of communication. It took me a long time to realize that my main point of my activity was to redress the balance a bit, to bring channels of communication to all sorts of artists and areas. So when I look at this recordable sound module, I definitely think of that quote. Passing it along there. Then that's my camera again. This is one of the men that recorded. This is 3 generations here, his grandson and Oh, actually 4. His grandson and his great grandson. So this is drinking tea after we had our kind of interview session with him. And this is actually the final product that at least the stereo work in Sahara will be a part of. I have 5 handmade books, or 6 handmade books in wood, and it's painted in henna and gold dust. This was actually painted by a Sahrawi artist. Her name is Dahaba. She doesn't necessarily consider herself an artist, but after we did this, and I said, of course, henna is an art, she was more open to that idea. But so the stereo images will go inside. The back here, the motif is painted by another artist. His name's Muhammad. You'll see the pictures at the end of this presentation. Let's make this bigger, actually. This book says in Arabic, Min Sahara ila, which means from Sahara to. So the idea is to take these very intimately made handmade books and just show them to maybe to small groups of people at a time, and then also get their images in 3D. And I'll talk about that collection, the final product, at the end. So these are just basic motifs or typical motifs of Sahrawi culture. And this is actually the flag here. I asked her to do a heart, but this is the triangle, and these are the 3 colors here that make the Sahrawi flag. Inside, the fabric that you see here is actually the typical thing that the women wear that you saw in this picture, for example. She's wearing a malfa, hand-dyed melfa, and so the inside of the books have this fabric inside. And this is actually a picture from Norway, and these are the unfoldable glasses that come in the book that you can see these people in 3D in. And the quotes will be in 2 languages, maybe 3, I'm not sure. And this is the module inside of the book. And I'm actually thinking of how to go about distributing them. I'm not sure if it'll be a project in Kickstarter that I make the old school stereo sets, which at the turn of the century definitely had more racist, imperialistic, certain ideas of the division of labor and exotification of colors in these travel stereo photo sets. But I definitely want to break down that history or revisit it and dig deeper into people's context, their social, political, or just their daily life. So yeah, I've thought about doing them on Kickstarter. I've also thought about making it an app that you could see on iPad or iPod, but I'm still trying to find someone that will work with my format of film here in Berlin. So this is the final product of this is definitely a work in process, which is why I now come to a white screen, and it comes from a bigger project. Like it's called actually, and I'll reduce this so you can see here. Heimweh, Fernweh, and places in between. Heimweh is a German word that means homesickness, and Fernweh is also a German word that means travel sickness. So the places of in between, of missing your home or being at home and wanting to leave, and the refugee situation is one chapter of that. There's so many places between Heimweh and Fernweh: exile, refugee, or just a purgatory even sometimes between those places of being happy where you are but wanting to be somewhere else or wanting to go home. So these are the kind of stories that I want to collect in this chain of stereo images. That's everything, I think. Thank you for listening. I won't stop without showing you a picture of Mohammed and Dahaba, who helped make the cover of the books. Thanks. Wait, let's see my face. Thanks.